Hey everyone, I have here the LEGO Star Wars Anakin's Jedi Interceptor set for 2020. Now, if you have or are at least familiar with the 2014 version of this exact same entire set basically, and this looks super familiar to you, don't worry, you're not having some weird deja vu. This is a very similar set. It's just an evolutionary update to it, an iterative upgrade. It's a pretty pure and straightforward set. It only comes with just the starship itself and then the two occupants thereof, an Anakin and an R2. We'll take a closer look at those, of course. The ship and its updates are basically just the same overall design and overall shape and size and scale that they've been using for quite some years now, updated based on more recent building techniques and with a handful of parts that didn't exist the last time they did one of these things. The last one, I believe, was, well, they did a Yoda one, which was not exactly the same, it was a smaller version, but they did an Obi-Wan version of this with the dark red accent color in 2016. They did the last Anakin version just like this in 2014, and they continue to use basically the same canopy piece and, again, the same overall dimensions. For me, this just feels pretty darn right. There are a couple of little things that I could nitpick about it, and certainly you can take a look at official art and screenshots and everything of the source material and pick at little bits, little details that are not exactly right, and surely this could be improved upon with more advanced techniques. But I think that for something that is a relatively low-end set that even relatively young kids could easily build, this looks pretty nice. Like, it's pretty presentable. You got the winglets, of course, that can open up like that. Thank you, Hasbro, for that design with their Jedi Starfighter, actually. It's got the suggestion of cannons here. They've updated that design a bit, gone to the gray rather than the black, which looks just a little bit smoother with this design. I think pretty much everything about this looks smoother than the previous one. A little bit more advanced in its overall appearance, but the actual shooting mechanisms are down here. Of course, they're using the spring-loaded shooters because those work really well, and they fire off things that look like laser bolts. You can just leave the bolts out if you don't like to see those. You don't want to see that green there, just leave them out, and everything else still works just fine. It's not like when they do stud shooters on figures, where you don't have any other option. The cockpit just opens from here. Very simple. A little bit of the cardboard there. But yeah, Anakin just sits there. He has a console which has a single sticker on it. Familiar. And he does have a spot for his lightsaber. It can just get clipped right under here. So that's convenient enough. I always appreciate when they think about that. You can also split it into two. So you can put the hilt on one side and the blade on the other, so it's even more difficult to see. This will just land on the ground. It actually has little stoppers. They've used these, the bracket pieces to provide basically a stopping point so you don't accidentally bend the wings too far, because they are just on ratcheted joints. You can bring them up like this if you want. Slightly different look, but obviously that's the intent. The little design for the hinge back here is very compact and kind of custom. It's kind of cool, but very simple. And a couple suggestions of smaller weapons on the side here. And you got the little slot for R2. Let me go ahead and put R2 in it so you can see what that looks like. He does fit pretty far down in there. So, just the head is sticking up. Of course, you'd probably want to turn the head. But the thing that I personally like least about this entire set is, well, maybe not the entire set, but this entire build, is the fact that the R2 legs are still visible from the side there. I really feel like a future version of this needs to use maybe some brackets or something just to do a little bit of stud on the side construction, perhaps, and just cover that up, just with something, maybe dark, you don't want it to be too obvious. But yeah, other than that, have a matching slot over on that side, which doesn't look great, but it's not bad. Just overall, the thing just works. Does what you want it to do. Of course, it's infinitely swishable. It's just a small little thing. Doesn't have an intricate build. No small details to easily break off. These are the most annoying things, but they don't break off easily. Leave them in if you want. Throw this thing around. It's durable enough. There you go. Looking closer at R2, well, R2 is just R2, right? They do very, very small updates to the prints every some number of years. This is the latest version, and I actually got lucky for once. This is extraordinarily rare for me. The head print is not super wonky. This is probably the best R2 print production work that I have ever gotten. Usually that lower band on the head just goes way up and then way down. I mean, this one's not perfect, but it's in the acceptable range at least, which, like I said, is just super, super rare for me. So I'm happy about that. This will be like my display version of this version of R2. I tend to get, a number of different ones, and I try to pick the best out of them. And this is definitely the best that I've gotten. Anakin here, meanwhile, I have problems with. Pretty straightforward and pretty complete problems with. Of course, if you do not like to hear any sort of negative feedback, any sort of criticism, even if it's completely warranted, obviously you've come to the wrong channel. Because I cover good stuff and I cover bad stuff as I see it. And to me, this is just a clear and obvious mistake. This is just the wrong version of Anakin. This is not a case where, they've just included some figures with a set and some of them don't necessarily go with the exact scene that the rest of the set represents. No, this is supposed to be Anakin as Interceptor pilot, as Eta 2 pilot. But he has the robes that have burns on them. That is specifically from the duel on Mustafar, which came much, much later. So this is just wrong. This is while he is dueling with Obi-Wan. Now they did the same thing with the Mustafar duel version of Obi-Wan. They put him into a set with the partially burned robes where he did not belong. And it just doesn't make sense to me. The torso print looks good. The leg print looks good. Works pretty well with the hip print as well, and the hip color in dark brown. The back of the torso looks really good to me. Hair is pretty appropriate. That's appropriate. That works. I like these head prints. The gold, the modern gold is really good. I mean, Lego's printed gold has been good, but I mean, this one is just crisp and clear, and I like it. And the lightsaber has no bubbles in it. It's the latest version. It's fairly crystalline. It's not a little bit foggy, a little bit translucent, a little bit milky. So much about this is good, except for the fact that it is just entirely the wrong version of him. And I cannot accept any version of any story or any excuse that says, well, Lego is actually right to include this. No, they can get it right, and they just totally 100% didn't. Finishing up with the included stuff, these are the spare parts, not so much to see there. And then this is what's left of the sticker sheet. So the number of stickers is not bad. The volume of stickers looks big, for a small set, but it's all absolutely warranted. I suppose they could do these as prints. These, what are they? On this one, they would just be radiator fin designs. They didn't. I'm okay with that. And it's a very important design to have there. Now they're charging $30 US for this, for roughly 250 pieces. And that feels all right to me. Just for the amount of stuff that I see in front of me, if I were to price it, I would ask for it to be between 25 and 30. 25 would feel maybe even a little bit low for it, just honestly speaking. So for it to be 30, I'm fine with that. No problem whatsoever. Yeah, hope that at some point they'll update this to cover up the astromech legs a bit. And why they picked this, I don't know, that was just a bad decision. Probably saving a little bit of money by not doing, a unique print for this. Some people won't even care about that, but come on, plenty of people do care about that. There are plenty of folks who are really into Star Wars, plenty of all ages, who are really into Star Wars, who know what those burn marks represent, who know exactly what those burn marks represent, and don't want to see them on a pilot version of Anakin from this part of the story with this version of Interceptor. It's just the wrong figure, the wrong print. For the torso only, everything else is just fine. R2, hey, I got lucky with my R2 also. Printed canopy continues to be the same, continues to be fine. The design slightly updated with newer parts as they go along. Good, no need to break what isn't, or no need to fix what isn't broken. No need to break what isn't broken either. And I think they're doing just fine with the progression with these things over time. So overall, I'm pretty happy with this. They just messed up there. Otherwise, good stuff and worth it. I've got the build for it, of course, because, hey, that's what I typically do. It's a very short one, so if you want to check that out, you can see the real-time build. I think it took me like a half an hour. If you just want to throw that on in the background of something, many of my reviews are even longer than that. And then the speed build version is like 6 minutes or something like that. Thank you for watching. Hope that this was good for you, and I will talk to you again soon.